Marie's the name of his latest flame. Marie's the name.
Marie's there of his latest fling, and talking about Elvis, got Jason Dale on the line. How you doing? Hello, Jason.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
Hi, Chris. How are you doing?
Pretty good, thanks, mate. We just played Elvis's Marie. This is his latest fling.
I was listening. We were all singing along in the Cadillac.
Oh, that's pretty good, because I was listening to you down in Parks, and it actually gave me an education, because I always thought it was Marie's the greatest thing.
Marie's the name, his latest flame.
Yes, and I always sort of...
Close brackets, Marie's the name, open brackets, his latest flame.
Oh, right. So, welcome to Lismore Town.
Thank you very much, Chris. Very much appreciated. Beautiful town. I was in town 2 days ago. We did a walkabout to promote the event tonight at Lismore Workers. Did you see us in town?
Yes, I saw the photo of it, and it's funny because Graham, who's doing his show, it was his car that you ran in front of.
Oh, wow. So he was at the crossing when we stopped the traffic?
It was.
Brilliant.
The little red mar.
Did he mention it on the radio?
He did. He's going to mention it right now. So you want to have a chat, Graham?
Okay. How you doing, Graham?
Yeah. Yeah, how's it going, mate?
Is that Graham?
Yeah?
Hi, Graham. Great. Thanks for having me on the show today.
No worries at all, any time. Yeah, we were, when you did the walk across the road down there yesterday, we were the next car. We had to wait for you.
Oh, wow. Was it your car that was featured in the newspaper?
Yeah.
Oh, you couldn't have made that up, could we?
No worries. Yeah, so I'll put you back on, Chris, now.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah, hi, Chris.
like Leonard Cohen said, everyone needs their 15 seconds of fame, so Graham's had his.
Graham's had his 15 seconds, yeah. It was just coincidence. The reporter from the newspaper, was it the Echo?
The Northern Star, yeah.
Northern Star, yeah. He said, how about Elvis stopped the traffic? So we saw the crossing, we dashed onto it. He said, think of Abbey Road. I said, that was the Beatles. He said, well, this is Elvis Lismore style. So we did it. And,
yeah, well, I saw the three people you were with. They look like they're having fun too.
Yeah, that was Josie from Red Ink. Are you familiar with Red Ink?
Yes, very well. They do a magnificent job here. We've done a couple of live broadcasts from a few of their shows or their fundraisers over the years.
Yeah, well, as you can imagine, I'm really excited to be working with the Red Ink team. And as you know yourself, what a great group of people that they are there, you know? They
are, and what they do, and they've got some great musicians there too. And
some fantastic musicians. We've got Brett on drums, Lincoln on guitar, and one of my favourite guitars, Link Ray. You've heard of Link Ray?
Yeah, and there used to be and there's a great band out of there called Brotherhood of the Blues. They did Blues Festival a couple of years ago.
That's right.
You know, little Johnny, Zach, and yep.
Johnny Zach, yeah, well, he's with Red Ink.
Yeah.
Did you know Red Ink support nearly 250 people?
Yes, I do.
Nearly 250 people, and some of the most vulnerable people in the community, in the Lismore community, and further afield.
Yeah, so how did you get involved? How did you hear about Red Ink?
How did I get involved? Well, that's very, very interesting. I'm from the UK. I'm from Stoke-on-Trent in the north of England, near to Manchester. And with the power of social media these days, the Elvis community is, so massive, the fan base of Elvis, as you can imagine. And a lot of my fundraising work, I do fundraisers for very similar, organisations and hospices in the UK. And it was picked up, and a couple of years ago it was mentioned because they know our family down in Byron Bay in Australia and Sydney. Some family that has been here from the 60s, the 70s, 80s, and they said, would it be possible to do anything in Australia? And I said, it is possible, obviously, because I do visit Australia periodically, normally every 5 years or so, to try and catch up with family. And they said, would it be possible to do something in Australia? And I said, if we can tie it up in the new year, normally after my very busy period in the UK, if we tie it up with around the time of Elvis's birthday, which is around now.
Yeah, because you're in Parks.
Yeah, the Parks Festival, yeah, which is, I was asked to do that, and I said, if we can tie it up at the same time, then we can do something by all means, and it's come about with Red Ink, so I've been closely following Red Ink and the Lismore community for the last 12 months, and gradually it's been building momentum, so it's all come into fruition, and I've met the team. We did, like I said, we've done a little bit of publicity in town, walkabouts, and in this heat, imagine it, in the black leathers and the jumpsuits.
Mm. Well, luckily we put on a bit of a cooler weather for you, because last Saturday it was like 40 degrees, and it's...
So this is cool. You know where I'm from in England? It's now 100-mile winds.
Yes.
And it's minus 16 and 2 foot of snow.
Yeah, because I was there this time last year. My sister lives up in Kendal, up in the Lakes District, and...
Oh, it's beautiful up there.
Yeah, it was beautiful, but we did nothing like this.
What month were you there?
December and January.
Wow, in Kendal. Kendal is beautiful. Did you know, Oliver, Lauren Hardy, the comedians, obviously?
Yeah.
You know where Stan Laurel was from up there, don't you?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, you can go visit his house. It's like the Graceland of comedy, you know. It's just a very modest terraced house, working house next to the factories there. But that's where Stan Laurel was raised, near Kendal.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Anyway, instead of talking about Stan Laurel, let's get back to Elvis and Lismore. I love Lauren Hardy. But Reading, obviously they're known for their creative arts.
Yes, Realise Every Dream, yeah.
That's right, Realising Every Dream, which is a great name. It's easy to remember, easy to spell. It's got the great motto, Realising Every Dream. And Josie, she made me very aware of the creative arts and the music that work within those areas. And with it being 50 years of the Elvis 68 special, and Elvis being as iconic and obviously the king of rock and roll, and so many of the people Reading were involved with, love Elvis. And obviously Elvis covers blues, rock, soul, funk, pop, gospel. But it's such a wide genre in the age group of the fan base of Elvis, so it just seemed appropriate, and they asked me to do it. It was a great honour for me, and a lot of fun, and I'm enjoying the Aussie summertime and the New Year celebrations here. So it's been really fantastic, really magical for me.
Yeah, it would be, and I suppose all those guys are going to come along and have a bit of a dance, a bit of a rock and roll.
Yeah, it's going to be great fun. We've got all the Hawaiian, the flowers, the leis and the silk scarves and teddy bears. We're doing the 68 special this afternoon. That's almost sold out. There is a few tickets left. You can come down and pay on the door. I think there's only a handful, maybe 10 or 15, but that can still be arranged. We're doing the 68 special with the live band. They're all from Lismore.
Yeah.
The band, Brett, Link, Tony. We've been rehearsing for that for the last 2 weeks, so that's going to be a lot of fun.
And it's down at the Lismore Workers Club, yeah?
At the Lismore Workers, yeah. The first show was in the Platinum Suite, which is like, have you been in that one?
Yeah, that's the one upstairs, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like all decked out. It's like one of the rooms in Graceland. It's beautiful. It's really apt for a show like this with the black leathers. All the seats are black crocodile skin. Genuine crocodile, did you know that?
No. I've got a pair of albino crocodile boots, but they're white.
White crocodile. These are black crocodile seats in there. So it's a beautiful room. It's all Art Deco and like kitsch. It's beautiful, and we're looking forward to that. It's completely live. I'll be playing the Cherry Red Gibson, the same as Elvis. And the guys are on they've got instead of Brett on the drums, instead of playing the kit, he's playing on the guitar case, the same as the 68 special.
Oh, right.
With a tambourine, and it really is an authentic, genuine sound, and it's all going out live, all That's All Right Mama, Blue Moon of Kentucky, all the great songs from that period,
And my favourite song of Elvis's all time has been Edge of Reality, which you can't find, I think you can only ever find it on one album.
The Edge of Reality, well, if you go on live, and have you ever seen the video to that, from the film?
Yes, I have. It's brilliant.
How psychedelic is that?
Yeah, it was completely out of his... A lot different. That's why I like it.
It was like something out of, something I don't know, Frank Zappa would do the video. Have you seen the way he's like flying around? And it's really, it is out of the norm and what you'd expect. It's a great song. Edge of Reality.
I walk along with thin line, darling.
I walk along. What about Graham's favourite song?
What is your favourite song, Elvis song?
I think the one I just played, Marie's the name of his latest Flame.
That song is so popular. It really is. It always gets requested at a show. Obviously, Suspicious Minds is always going to get requested.
Yeah, and Rock Around the Clock. I mean,
Rock Around the Clock.
Not Rock Around, Jailhouse Rock.
Yeah, I think he's thinking of Bill Haley.
Yeah, Bill Haley.
Jailhouse Rock's one of the most difficult songs. If you're trying to do Elvis in 1957, you've got to bear in mind, Elvis's vocals changed throughout the years. So, I'm 37, And if Elvis is, he was like 21 when he did that. So, but it's a great song. I do the early 70s version, which is the concert version, we call it. And it always works live. People always request it. We were down in the Platinum Suite yesterday doing a full dress rehearsal for the 68 special, and there was 4 local folk. Well, I say local. One guy was from Texas and 3 from Lismore, and they saw the news item in the local press, and they asked Red Ink if they could come along because just to see the rehearsals, because they're coming to the show as well, and would it be possible to have a photograph? They came in, and lo and behold, I said, "Okay, guys," they took a seat, and I said, "What's your favourite Elvis song?" And all 4 of them said Jailhouse Rock. Jailhouse Rock, and so we did it, just for a little bit of fun, and it was your birthday as well.
Hey, Jason, for those listen out on River FM 92.9, we're talking to Jason Dale, who's doing the Red Ink fundraiser tonight and doing the 68 special platinum in the afternoon, and then you got your premium show in the this evening.
Right. The Las Vegas show, yeah.
Yeah. So how did your English, Manchester, how did you first get into Elvis?
In Manchester, yeah, I'm near to Manchester, not far, about 20 miles. How did I get into Elvis? Basically, as a very young boy, something I heard in Elvis's voice, maybe some of the gospel songs, Peace and the Valley, How Great Thou Art. Elvis's voice really did have a very deep impact on me, the sound of his voice. Before I knew anything about, obviously, you can't ignore Elvis in the media. He's always popping up in every, you listen to, any rock band, Led Zeppelin, Rolling Stones. It's not like you watch or anybody, McCartney, or even the current band. They're always going to mention Elvis eventually, whether they're fans or whether they're talking about the impact Elvis had on rock and roll. And I just felt something very, very deep in his voice, and I tried to put that across within my show. And I think to be a tribute to the King, you've got to be a fan. Regardless of, it's okay, there's got to be a resemblance. You've got to have the power in your voice, the range, the humour. Elvis had a great sense of humour. I think the fans expect that to come across. Obviously, the more of these things you have naturally, it's great to have a little bit of fun on stage. But obviously, there's a lot of light and shade as well. You've got to take the gospel very, very seriously, and obviously a lot of the songs, like In the Ghetto, mean so much to people, or even Suspicious Minds. You're dealing with people's memories. You're dealing with people from 8 to 95 years of age. Yeah,
because for the time all that come out, he was very inclusive, which, there's a lot of segregation there, but he had a lot to do with inclusion and just bringing everyone together, didn't he?
Definitely. I really do believe that, yeah, and it still happens now. It happens with in any country, whether you're in South Africa or, Russia. In the last 6 months, I've been to Denmark, Portugal, all over the UK, Ireland. We were in Vegas 6 or 7 weeks just before Christmas, or 10 days. We did 4 shows there. It's all, and you go to all these places, all age groups, people from Japan, you name it, everywhere, and it brings people together. And for instance, I was in Parks the other day, and there's a guy with a cowboy hat on, sitting on the front row. And I'd got about half an hour, and they've got great air conditioning. You can imagine it was 48 degrees there.
Oh, is that all? Luxury.
Trying to cool down. And I said to this guy, he's got a great camera with him, and I love my photography, and I was talking about his lenses. And I always try and talk to fans, Elvis fans, and connect with them on a level of, like you asking me, how did you get into Elvis, and what was the experience? Was it for your folks, or was it for your family, or did you see a film? But this guy, I said to this chap, out of the blue, and he was, he got a big red beard, and he looked like he was from the, way out in the outback. What we'd call in England a redneck or a hillbilly,
Hillbilly.
Hillbilly. Great guy. And I said to him, redneck or hillbilly,
Hillbilly.
Hillbilly. Great guy. And I said to him, I said, so it comes from Darwin. How far is Darwin?
Oh, Darwin's about a good 6-hour flight from here.
6 hours.
You can get up there in about 4 days.
He'd done 5 or 6 hours in a camper van. And I said, so you're an Elvis fan? And he says, well, he looked at me. He said, he said, no, I'm not. I'm not an Elvis fan. I said, so what brings you to the Parks Festival, one of the biggest Elvis festivals in the world, 40,000 people? He said, I like quirky things. I said, right. And he said, I've come to see the Chinese Elvis. He said, I saw it on the news, the national news, and he said, I've just got to see this guy. And he said, so that's what I'm here for, to see the Chinese Elvis. And I said, that's fantastic. After the show, I asked him if he'd enjoyed it, and he said, something's happened to him. He said, I've become... This guy must have been 50, 52 maybe, early 50s.
Yeah.
He said, I have become an Elvis fan after today. And this was on the Friday, and there's 3 more days to go. He said the whole event has just changed his life and his perception of Elvis.
Well, that's what you want, isn't it?
I get it all the time. I call it being kindled. People come to the shows maybe along with the wives or with a grandparent or the kids even, a very young fan base for Elvis, which is so important to myself as an Elvis tribute. We call ourselves ETAs these days, it's easy, Elvis tribute acts.
Okay.
The kids that come along, they see the films. They're some of the biggest fans are now only 8, 9, 10, 11 years of age. Because obviously, and not all of them get into it through the grandparents. Sometimes they just see a documentary or hear something on the radio, and it touches them, and I can understand that, and I like to put that across in my show. It's a great question. It's very difficult to answer because it really is down to the music.
All right.
That's what it is for me.
Well, let's hope we can convert some people today and tonight out at the Lismore Workers Club for Jason Dale. Well, thanks for taking the time. We've come up to midday and it's got the new show coming up next.
Chris, Graham, I really appreciate you taking the time to chat with me today. Thank you very much.
I wish we could have got in early, but that's all right, and we'll come down and see you a bit later.
Yeah, come down and see me. And don't forget, everybody out there, please check out the great work Reading are doing on their website. It's all online, and you can see exactly what they do within the community. And it's still not too late to get a few tickets for tonight's show. It's going to be a great evening, and the air conditioning's on. It's going to be fantastic. Can you do me a favour? Could you give me the frequency again?
River FM 92.9.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to River FM on 92.9 FM. Thank you very much.